Good morning. Good Friday to everybody. It's January 19th, 7 a.m. New York time. The end of a trading week is before us. And I'm glad you guys are back. Welcome into the Venator Trading Channel. A live stream every day, 7 a.m. New York time. We're doing a futures versus Forex challenge right now, and everything's going really well. Our 5-minute London scalp, just one tick on the futures, but on the Forex is all good. So we passed phase 1 of our 10K bespoke challenge yesterday, so that's cool. Got our phase 2 credentials and took our first trade on the London continuation, and it's up 1%. 1% on the bespoke, positive, and this is the top step, 100K combine challenge, and it is at 3.5%. It was at 3.7 before this trade, and then that took a loss. And I'm risking very small amounts on the combines on these continuation scalps. I'm risking 1% on the bespoke for those, but I'm risking very small on this. The other account we got is our Express Funded account. And you can see right here, Express Funded live account. Now you're going to see the balance says $1,000. So when you get the Express Funded account, it doesn't start at 100K. You have 100K in buying power, and you have to work with the same amount of drawdown and all that kind of stuff. So you still have the 3% trailing drawdown, but your account balance is actually the profit that you're making. So if this was a demo simulated account, it would say $101,000, right? But because it's Express Funded, it just shows you the profits. This was at 1.19 before this trade and lost that. So lost about $170 on that scalp trade right there. So that's our, we're up 1%, still over 1% on the funded account. And we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. We are giving away our 10K account challenge from Bespoke this morning. That will happen at the top of the next hour. And I'll have to check the Twitter picker to see if it's working, but if it doesn't, we'll use the YouTube comment giveaway, unless the chat can come up with some other alternative for picking a winner. So we're doing our 10-minute continuation scalp here. We'll wait for this first 10-minute candle to print, and then we will set up our order, our stop order, to continue in the direction of this first 10-minute candle with a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And we'll just let it play out. And then we'll wait for the top of the hour. We'll do our giveaway, and then that'll probably be it for me on Fridays. Again, most of my trading is happening off the stream, especially with the futures stuff. Gosh, there's another gnat. I don't know where these gnats are coming from. It's driving me nuts. Most of my trading, it's happening off the stream, and I'm trading on the futures accounts, the combines, and now the funded account, and trading the through the New York session, which doesn't start until 9:30 New York time. And since I'm starting the stream at 7, I do the first open here for the kill zone session for Euro, and we'll watch the scalp trade play out. And that'll be kind of it. And then I'm just going to trade until I kind of get locked back in. Once I get these accounts locked back in and get the payouts coming in, then we'll probably do some Discord streaming, I think. We'll probably do some Discord streaming for some of my scalp sessions. So everything that you see, I passed the first 100K combine. And I passed the bespoke yesterday, trading it as well with scalping. And it's worked out really well. The back testing has paid off. all of the winter break, the Christmas holidays, the New Year break. Just spent a ton of time getting my head right, getting my eyes locked in on what I want to see and how I want to trade. And we've been able to pass phase one, 8% on the bespoke. We've passed a full 100K combine, which was 6%. We've already made 1% profit on it on the funded account, and we're at 3.5% on the second 100K combine. All just scalping. There have been some that are more than what I would call scalps. So a scalp to me is a trade that you hold for anywhere from 1 to 5 or 6 minutes. That's a scalp to me. And anything over, if you're holding something for more than like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, that's a day trade to me. That's something that you're holding for a little bit longer. There have been a couple of those, not very many. Most of my trades are in that 1 to 5 minute range so far, and I'm taking anywhere from 4 to 8 or 9 trades in a session, and in a day, and that's trading the morning session and the afternoon session. I'm doing both. I wake up, I set my order for the London scalp, I go back to bed. It takes literally 5 minutes. I wake up at the top of the hour, wipe the crap out of my eyes, open the computer, set the order, go back to bed. I wake up, do the same thing with this 10-minute scalp here on the stream, and then I'll just chill for about an hour or so after the stream and wait for the market to open, and then I'll just scalp for about an hour and a half. And then I wait, and then I'm done. I'm done usually by 10:30 New York time, 11 maybe at the latest New York time. And then I'll just take a break. I won't do anything until about 2 o'clock. I'll just go about my day, have lunch, whatever. And then I'll come back for the last couple hours of the New York session, which have actually been really good. I think I've done my best trading in the afternoon session for some reason. So on this Top Step funded account that I have, the one we're trading that's currently up on the screen right here. Again, you can see currently up over 1% profit here. To be able to take your payouts on Top Step, the payout requirements are that you have to have 5 $200 profitable days. They don't have to be consecutive. You just have to have a total of 5 $200 profitable days, and then you're eligible for a withdrawal. Now that withdrawal, you can withdraw once you've reached that, which means you could get a payout at the end of every week. If you make $200 Monday through Friday, theoretically you could get a payout every single week, once a week. Now, once you have reached 5 days of $200 in profits, you can take a withdrawal, and you can withdraw 50% of your profits. Now, they do this to basically require you to leave a buffer in your account, because that trailing drawdown is still coming up with you. Once it hits zero, once you're $3,000 in profit, the drawdown will lock in at $100 above zero, and then it doesn't move after that. So if you have $3,000 and you take out $3,000, your account gets closed because you have no buffer. So your first couple withdrawals, they only let you take 50% profits to keep your buffer in there. And then once your buffer is in there, we need to get this order set up. Hold on. It's going to be a bearish closed candle here. I'm just going to set this up real quick. 1 tick above. 1 tick below, 1 to 1. We're going to set up a limit order here, our stop order. We're going to risk just $187. That's fine. We're going to sell stop that. And then I'm going to set it up on the other accounts as well. Yesterday, this continuation trade did not get triggered. Let me get this set up over here. Bear with me. Come on, freaking idiot. All right, all the orders are set up. This trade did not get triggered yesterday. So the 10-minute scalp yesterday was up here. Where was it? Where's the 7 a.m. candle? Right here. This was the 7 a.m. candle yesterday. Closed bullish. And you can see, had you taken that in the opposite direction, you could have held that all day and made a killing. But it just dropped and never got triggered in. This one we're trading inside a range. Wouldn't surprise me if this gets triggered in. And the previous day high. Nope, that's not what that is. The previous day high is not right there. The previous day high is right. Oh, this is a fair value gap. That's why that's there. This is a daily fair value gap we're trading inside of. And so the top of that fair value gap is here. Currently respecting it. We'll see how... Again, I don't have any rhyme or reason. There's no logical conclusion that I have come to other than just pure statistics and data for why this scalp trade works. It makes no sense to me. I don't take into consideration when this specific strategy does not take into consideration liquidity. It doesn't take into consideration market structure. It's simply a continuation trade, a momentum continuation trade of the first 10-minute candle of the euro dollar at 7 a.m. open. And nearly 60% of the time, or more, I think it might be more than that, over the entire year last year, you would have made about 30% just doing this. Month over month. By the end of the year, it's risking 1% per trade, over 30%. So it does have losing streaks, which is why on these accounts I'm not really risking a crazy amount. Is that right? Because I still, even with the data, I'm using them, but I'm not. If they help, they help. Just get rid of that. If they help, they help. But if they don't, they don't. They're not gonna wreck any account I use. Basically risking less than 0.25% on this. So if it wins, great, it'll add a little bit. But if it loses, it's not. Which is really kind of how you should be looking at a lot of your trading. Is you should be trading a lot size and risking a percentage that you just trade because the execution's there and you're not really worried about the outcome. In the beginning. Now you can increase your lot size and your leverage a little bit more once you're more consistent and you're not worried about the profit and loss because you're just trading. That was my goal for this year, was as we started this year, was just to get to a spot where I'm just locked in and focused on trading. I'm just executing and getting back to what got me to be profitable in the first place. Being patient, waiting for my setups, and then striking quick and fast and taking advantage of the liquidity runs when I can. But it is Giveaway Friday, as John says, Foreigners First Friday. Welcome in, everybody. John, Cisco, Shambies, good morning. How you guys been? Been a while since I've been in the stream. Good to have you here. Go Bone. Good to see you. Shadow Trades. Good evening. Welcome in. Discretionary scalping is I was thinking about that yesterday. That's a yes and no question. That's a yes and no answer because it is discretionary in the fact that I'm choosing when to trade purely discretionarily, but I'm not just randomly clicking a button, if that makes sense. There are good reasons, and there are it's all based on liquidity. It's based on market structure and price action. So I'm not just like, I don't just see a big candle print and then click the buy button, or a big down candle print and click the sell button, or just because it's back in the middle of the range, click an order button, or it's at the top of the range, click. I'm not. It is based on fair value gaps. It's based on relative equal highs and lows. It's based on the overall trend of the market structure. It's based on pretty much all of my trading knowledge that I have accumulated over the last several years of trading. And I'm doing it in a way that is protecting my profits quickly. I'm not waiting for big runners. Now there have been a couple, like I've said, where I have targeted, an old session high or something like that because of where I thought price was wanting to go, and I've held it and made some good money. But most of mine, if I show you my stats, most of my winners are $200 to $300, and I'm just taking out 3 or 4 of those a day, sometimes 5, and then every now and then I'll hit a $800 or $900 trade, right? So in the midst of that, also taking some small losses, and the average loss is around 180 to 200. I'm quickly closing out positions that are going against me. I'm not even waiting for them to hit where my original stop was. So for instance, if I was trying to get long here off of this fair value gap, because so technically we've had a break of structure here we ran sell side liquidity. Let's just talk this out, right? We ran sell side liquidity. We've come up, come down. We couldn't make a new low. We've displaced above these highs and the Asian highs. We left a fair value gap behind. So theoretically, based on liquidity and this fair value gap above it, you would anticipate that Eurodollar would want to run higher here. And to do that, you would be trading off of this 10-minute fair value gap. And so once it broke structure and changed and we've put in a new high, you would anticipate a higher low being put in, one here, and a new higher low be putting here somewhere inside this fair value gap or off of this 10-minute order block right here. So if I was getting as I'm going through puberty still, if I was getting along here off of this fair value gap, and I had my stop, let's say down here or down here, whichever one you wanted. You could pick the fair value gap entry, or you could, down here, or you could put it down here, whichever one. But I would be on a lower time frame, and I would identify, no matter where my stop was, I would identify a fair value gap in here that once it was violated, I would close it out before it got to my stop. So it's cutting my losses earlier and earlier based on price action on lower time frames violating. And I'm really am trading off of like the 1 and 2 minute time frames a lot. 1, 2, 3, 5 is about as high as I'm scalping off of. A lot of this is happening off the 1 minute time frame. So if this fair value gap gets a body closure below, I'm closing it out. Even if my stop was down here, I'm closing it out early. And just dealing with it. I'm taking the loss, cutting them early. And then if it was going in my direction, let's say I was trading off of this let's say I was trading off of this fair value gap right here. We had on the 1 minute time frame, explosive move up. We've cleared out that the buy side liquidity. We still haven't hit this target yet. So when this candle prints, we still have these highs right here. So this would have been a nice little scalp. Take that fair value gap entry. I'd probably have my stop here, and I would just be aiming for right there for a 0.75, a quick 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about a 6-minute hold right there. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Is there, most of these are not 1-to-1 RRs, but I'm also cutting them. They end up being more than 1-to-1 RRs because if they're violating some price delivery arrays, PD arrays inside the scalp, I will go ahead and cut that loss and just then wait for another setup to form and reevaluate. So it is discretionary to some degree, but it's not just I feel like this should go somewhere. There's price action logic behind every entry I'm taking. So yeah, if I see price come up, I could have also, another strategy that I'm using is a momentum continuation scalp. So if I didn't want to take the fair value gap, I wanted to wait and move with price in my direction, I would just set a stop order above. So once I saw price moving back down, I don't know that it's going to not just fill this whole thing in. I don't know when it's going to turn around, but if it comes up and breaks this high, then I could also get in a very tight buy stop order right here with the low right below the candle that reached in, and get in almost a full 1-to-1 and with a little bit of higher leverage on that position. So I'm using both of those quite frequently. Fair value gap entries. I'm using inverted fair value gap entries. So if this inverted fair value gap would be a fair value gap that gets violated and traded through. Once a candle gets traded through, which would be a play that would look like this right here. Once this fair value gap gets traded through and violated, then I would enter and aim for the next liquidity target underneath that fair value gap with a stop above, which is basically what this 10-minute continuation trade is working out to be. Ironically, it is a 10-minute inverted fair value gap. We haven't had a body candle close yet. It's not technically been violated, but this fair value gap right here on the 10-minute time frame, it is an inverted fair value gap. So once it gets once we get this body, I'm saying respected it. It didn't. Once you get a body candle closure below that fair value gap, then you would trade it down to the next liquidity level, which it happens to be right there today. So from a price action standpoint, if it does get violated and traded through, it does make sense that this would run down lower. And you now have another fair value gap up here that if it got violated, you could consider cutting your loss before it hit your full stop right there. So can't even remember how percentages work. Discretionary scalping doesn't necessarily mean point, click, and pray. I get that. Not easy attaining, almost funded. I got you. John. Oh boy. Yeah. So anyway, we'll be doing our giveaway here. I need to find out what's going to happen with this Twitter giveaway. Let me see if Twitter Picker's working. I need to go find a random post in here. We'll just use this one. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Come on. There we go. Control C. Let me see if Twitter Picker is working. It has not been. Go away. That was random. Oh boy, it's oh, here we go. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Okay, looks like it's working. So we can use Twitter Picker. It appears we can use the Twitter Picker. We shall see. All right, so I'm going to have to put a post up. One second, guys. Let me get a tweet going here. Okay. Oh. Here is the post. You need to go retweet the tweet that I just put up. It says Futures vs. Forex Challenge live stream happens every Monday through Friday on YouTube. 10K account giveaways from our stream sponsor at Bespoke Funding every Friday. Retweet that, and that will get you locked in and eligible. Locked in and eligible. So it looks like this fair value gap wants to be respected here. And we're putting in a higher low here. Sorry. And I would anticipate that stop getting run. reposts coming in. We'll have some more, I'm sure, as the hour winds down here. We will have some more. So if I'm looking at this right here, this fair value gap will need to be, you will want to see that push price back down. Let's see here. And on the 5 minute, it's even smaller right there. This fair value gap here has yet to be violated. I'm anticipating this getting run out. I don't think this trade will have any life. Just ticked it in, never saw any profit, never even got into the green at all. It literally was just, hey, let me just get you in and we'll whip it around. That's what she said. Our only hope is this little baby fair value gap right there. That's our only hope. I don't touch this trade. I don't do anything with it. I just set the orders and let them go. I'm not going to close that early. If it closed above, I'm not going to wait. I mean, I'm not going to close it out. I'm just going to. The strategy is the strategy on this specific one. It's all data, and you can't mess with it. You can't mess with the strategy that's all mechanical and data based. You can't change one thing. You have to execute the exact same thing every single time. But that's the new half hour. What did the half hour close? Half hour closed bearish, but also still respecting that 30-minute fair value gap there too. Could not close below it. Hourly candle has no top wick on it, so that's not great. Even if it pushes down, it's going to come up and reclaim that and put a top wick there. $15-minute fair value gap being respected. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, putting in a swing, a new higher low. So you would anticipate euro running up here. But this strategy is so random because there are so many times where I'm like, this is not going to work. And then it does. And then there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to work. And then it doesn't. And it doesn't make any sense to me why. Just based off price action. Most of the time it doesn't make sense. Who is Bodicus NFT? Seems like a scam bot. Very likely. All of my tweets get hit with random things. I don't know why. They just do. I think once you get over a couple thousand followers, the scam bots heavily come in and start trying to manipulate. It's with the corn comments. What is with the corn comments? Shadow says, my 25K is in deep drawdown. Tried my best for that guy. 6%. You still got 4%. Yeah, you still got room, buddy. I'm asking why John keeps talking about corn. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking. The Corn Kid on YouTube. What? I don't know that I want to watch that. I don't think I do. Oh. All right, we got about 20 more minutes here. And we will hit up our giveaway. Let's see. What news? What news? We have 10 o'clock. We've got the Michigan Consumer Sentiment. All right. Very range bound here on the pound dollar. Somewhat range bound on euro. Euro definitely looks stronger. Euro has taken out the Asian highs here. Taking out the Asian lows, now we've taken out the Asian highs. Pound has not come anywhere close. The Asian highs are way up here. Pound has been pretty weak. Dollar, remember, we can go back and talk about our dollar analysis here. We're in this monthly volume imbalance currently. Reached right up into it. We're also waiting to see how is the dollar going to close today. If it closes outside of this weekly fair value gap, that would point to some stronger, this is now a violated inverted fair value gap, and you would anticipate maybe the dollar coming back down to it and then finding instead of here, it should have found, like it did right here, it should have found resistance and pushed price down. Very next week found resistance, pushed price down, and then this week blasted through it. So once it no longer is acting as resistance, it should turn into support, and you would anticipate an inverted fair value gap holding price up. So once this is reclaimed, if the dollar does indeed close bullish and outside of this fair value gap today, and then this is where you would anticipate next week potentially a low of the week, and then you could see the dollar find some more strength. You do have this larger fair value gap up here on the weekly time frame, and these two candles, or these two red lines, represent a monthly fair value gap up above. So currently this volume imbalance is slowing the dollar down. And so we're kind of in between two opposing PD arrays now. We have this volume imbalance and we have this fair value gap. The fair value gap to me is the one that I would want to see how it reacts. If it can close outside of it again today, that would give us a weekly closure outside of that fair value gap. And then I would wait to see next week how it comes down into that, and then if we could get some of that action there. We'll see. I don't know what I would expect today from the dollar. You can see on the daily time frame, large fair value gap here. Weekly fair value gap. putting in a swing high here. I don't know what the dollar does today. I think most people have, well, up until today on this run up is, oh, I don't think the Fed is going to cut rates in March. Well, maybe they will cut rates in March. And so it really just comes down to data and the fundamentals inside the U.S. economy, to me, of what's going to push the dollar up or down. If the market suddenly thinks, oh, rate cuts are coming in March, the dollar's going to tank. If they think rate cuts are going to hold and they're not going to make a change, dollar's going to spike. And in the meantime, it's going to carve out a range until it figures out exactly what it wants to do. So February could be kind of choppy for the dollar as it heads into the March expectations. The Fed meeting minutes and the FOMC, when those guys come out and do their speeches, everybody's going to be listening like a hawk to find out any clues that they can get on which way those rate cuts are going to go. There's some people that are thinking there's going to be 6 to 9 rate cuts this year, which would be pretty crazy, seeing as how inflation is still pretty strong. You haven't seen any dip in unemployment numbers. The economy is not cooling off at all. It's still ripping hot. All right. So far, our 10-minute fair value gap, our little baby 10-minute fair value gap here has pushed price back down. This is the fair value gap we need to see get violated if this trade's going to have any hope, I think. And as we come into the top of the hour, it would not surprise me if we get a push down and then run up. Take out the relative equal lows right here, and then you get that top of the hour push. I don't have much hope for this trade. Oh. But again, not even risking 0.2%, not even 0.25%, less than 0.25% on this. It's not. I just don't really care about it that much. G rated. I might have to check it out. It's just when I go, here's my fear. And tell me if I'm being, this is how crazy we have become as a society. I'm scared to watch things online, on my computer or my phone, because as soon as I watch something, the algorithm, if I spend more than like 30 seconds on something, the algorithm now decides that I wanted to watch that and that I enjoyed it. And now all of my suggested videos and ads and links and everything now becomes all about what I just watched for 30 seconds. So it's like I have this internal like fear about, do I want to watch this? Because it's going to change my algorithm. It's going to change how the algorithm thinks about me. And then I'm going to have to deal with all of the reels and TikToks and tweets and YouTube suggested videos. It's a real fear, man. I feel like I've got my algorithm dialed in right now, and as soon as I go watch something and I spend more than 15 seconds on it, the algo now thinks I want to see more of that. So I'm kind of worried about watching new stuff. I'd be scared to watch something John recommended. There's also that fear as well. There's also that fear as well. The algo, I've heard in the past that if you remove the vid from watch history when the algo forgets you watched it. Really? Interesting. YouTube, I'm talking about. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter if you watch it on YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. And now, so Google, it's the same AI that controls Google. And Google, we know, controls everything. Anyway, simple solution, Brad. Make a throwaway account or just sign out before you. I guess I could do that, yeah. I guess I could do that. Disabled the YouTube thumbnails? How do you do that? I didn't even know you could disable YouTube thumbnails. Is that like a preference feature? I didn't realize that was a thing. Did not realize that was a thing. I really just don't see how the dollar finds some strength here today. I think the dollar is coming back down today. I don't think it's going to go up. It's going to run into trouble up in here again. If it can push up, it's going to run into trouble up here. I don't think it's going to had the holiday. It's a shorter week. So this is the week open here. I think you get a pullback. It wouldn't surprise me if the dollar falls here and falls back down into this range today. It would have to take out yesterday's low. Could just be an inside day, just bouncing around, not really doing anything. But I mean, I'm happy it's getting a little push here. It's helping our trade position out currently. Oh, Google, your phone is listening to you all the time. 100% your phone is listening to you. I mean, we've all had that crazy experience where you're just randomly talking about something in the car, with a friend, at dinner, whatever. And then you get in, and the next time you open your phone, and that's what's on your phone. Still have yet to get into profit on this trade. After 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes, we have yet to see one tick of profit. We might violate this fair value gap. We'll have to see how this candle closes in 1 minute and 12 seconds. This level right here would be a violation of the fair value gap. If we can get the next 1 minute, I bet it pops back up and closes inside of it though. It's just basing out for the next hourly candle to take out the candle low and then engulf the previous hour candle. Forex on the bespoke has actually taken out that low and has moved into profits by $13. So it's trying. It's just not going to succeed. Oh, break even. Still no profits. 6 seconds. It looks like we will close and violate that 10-minute fair value gap. So that's cool. We'll now have to see how it responds to this violated fair value gap. "10 minutes to the top of the hour, we'll be doing our giveaway. Let me drop that link back in. Let me see if it still is up. You'll need to repost that if you're just joining the stream. Repost that Twitter link there. And yeah, we'll get it worked out. Smash that like button. That's a good call, John. Thank you. Smash that like button. NQ ripping to all-time highs. ES nearing all-time highs. What's gold doing? Gold is pushing higher. On a weekly candle, you can see we're getting a little bit of rejection down there. Big gap up. I need to see where the gold contract rolls over. Let me look at the CME website here. GCG4, so I'm still on the right contract. Total volume is still the February contract. Looks like April will be the next. Not sure what is it, volume or open interest? John, do you know? Is it volume or open interest that you're looking at? Total volume. I would think it's volume. That is the factor on when to switch to the new contract. Because total volume for February is 171,928, and April is only 28,000. But open interest. The open interest is larger in April and smaller in February. So I don't know if it's volume you go off of or if it's open interest. I need to find that out. But currently it does list it as GCG4 as the contract to be trading on the CME website. So there you go. I'm going to go off of that. When it changes, I'll change it. Come on. Oh, I got to get back over here. Pushed back up into that fair value gap and getting a nice little rejection down. Hopefully we can hold that down. This is what you kind of want to see on an inverted fair value gap. Once it's reclaimed, this is what you want to see, is price acting as the opposite support or resistance that it should have been support. It should have pushed price up. Instead, it has reclaimed and now opened, pushed back up into it, and pushed price down. So maybe we can find some legs here. I feel like this is asking a lot of euro dollar, considering all of the chop we've been in overnight. About 5 more minutes. Would love to see this candle body close below the previous candle body. That would be nice. Creating a nice little order block potentially to push price further down. It's so choppy, man. So choppy. What's up, Dean? Welcome in. Go by volume. Open interest is larger because it's about to roll. I got you. So volume is the key indicator. When the volume switches, that's when the contract switches. Is there a certain day of the week you're supposed to roll over? Or is it just at the beginning of the week or just sometime during the week, the beginning of the week? Oh. I don't believe there's a certain day oil rolled yesterday. All right, so you just kind of have to watch. And when it rolls, it rolls. But it's usually that third week of the month, isn't it? That's typically when it rolls. So getting a big push here on euro to end out this hourly candle. It could roll. It could just push this the entire hour could be engulfed on this 1 10-minute candle right there. That's crazy. Big push. Big push. All right, coming into the top of the hour, y'all, we will do our giveaway here. And we'll probably watch this stop loss get slapped as well. If you're just joining, it looks like we've got a few more viewers coming in. You will need to repost the tweet that I just put in the chat. Go ahead and repost that on Twitter. And that will get you registered and eligible for the giveaway. And then we'll use Twitter Picker here at the top of the hour to give away our Bespoke Funding 10K Classic Challenge. It has an 8% profit target on phase 1, a 5% profit target on phase 2, and you have 10% maximum static drawdown. So the maximum drawdown is 10%. You have a 5% daily loss limit that you cannot go above. Yeah, this is exactly, I thought it would run that relative equal lows. Tapped into it. It's heading higher. I don't think there's any hope for this trade at all. Where's Obi-Wan Kenobi when you need him? 3, 2, 1, new candle. And it closed back up inside bar on the hourly candle. This thing is rocketing up into these highs. All right, let's do our giveaway. So we are every Friday giving away a 10K Classic Challenge from Bespoke Funding, our sponsor stream. They are, you'll see, man, this year is going to be a great year for Bespoke. They have gotten all of their internal systems and processes running like a well-oiled machine. And they're here for the long haul. So let me get to Twitter Picker. Let me go over here. Twitterpicker.com. All right. And then we'll pull it up onto this page here so you can see what I'm doing. We'll load in our tweet. There it is. One winner. I don't care about the picture. Click continue. And we'll see all of our names here. So we've got Omar and Never Say Never, Courtner, John, lots of numbers. Dunamis, as always, M, and Cisco, Bahavia. Cool Flamer back with us. Nice to see you in, buddy. Hello, Timbo. Mr. Lot Timbo. Timbo, welcome in. John Jones. Go. Cherish, Sean, Sada, Reggie, Arav, Shadow, Benedict. I'm just making sure there's no like crazy duplicates. Partha G, Pavel. All right, these all look good. Man, no drama today. No drama today. All right. Good luck, everybody, on this. I hope that whoever wins this will take full advantage of it. Do your back testing, get your strategy down, get your discipline down. Don't treat this as a lottery ticket. Even though it's a free account, it can be life-changing. It really can. So I hope, truly hope, this benefits you in ways that you never dreamed possible. So here we go. Beginning the draw. The winner is Benedict Ben Marul. Let's see pop up in the Discord. Let me see you in there. Let me know you're here. I'll give you just a few seconds, Benedict. If you're here, let me know. There he is. That's me. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, Benedict. Benedict, where are you from, man? Where are you from? Botswana. Very cool. Well, my friend, you have won the 10K Classic Challenge from Bespoke Funding here on our Friday giveaway. So if you will on Twitter, please send me a direct message and I'll get you verified and I'll get you details on how to claim that 10K account from Bespoke. All right. So hit me up, send me a direct message over there on the Twitter. And as soon as the stream ends today, I'll message you back and we'll get you all sorted. Okay. So good luck, man. Hope it works out for you. Let me know how it goes. Keep up with it. Hop in the stream. And I always say that I have yet to hear anybody but Shadow. Shadow, I think, is the only person who regularly keeps us updated. He won that 25K account. I don't know when. A long time ago. Like in October or something. And he's still trading on it. It's in drawdown, but he's still holding on to it. I think he's the only person that still has an account that I've given away active right now. Even if it's in drawdown, it's still active. So, good for him. But yeah, man, congratulations. Benedict, you've won before, right? I don't think he's won before. Cisco, you did keep us updated. I know you got to phase 2. I think you're the only person that's gotten close to passing the entire challenge. No one has gotten funded yet. No one has reached the funding stage. So, it's just it is what it is. No one's reached the funding stage, and I'm still waiting for that one person to get funded and give us a payout. I still have mine, but it's Cool Flamer's got his too. I know it's gamer. I just have to call you Cool Flamer because that's what I called you the first time, and so now you're always going to be Cool Flamer. I know it's gamer. Beginning to think it ain't going to happen. There's got to be a first, John. There's got to be a first. And he still has his. It's in 3% drawdown, but he still has it, so that's good. That's awesome. Well, we survived the opening push. Somehow. And our 5-minute fair value gap has still held. And this inverted fair value gap has not been closed back above. So, I don't know. Maybe this trade has some life. I just don't see it. I think this is going to get ran pretty heavily here. Again, it's all based on the dollar. Dollar has a pretty strong base down here, but I think you're just going to see this. You're just going to see this today. I don't think the dollar's going to. If the dollar's going to do anything, it's not going to climb. It's going to come back down. I don't think the dollar's just going to find some random strength today to take off. I think if it does anything, it may come back up, one more pop up, and then head back down from there into these lows here, at least, potentially these lows, or back into that fair value gap. But I don't see how the dollar finds some random strength to just take out these highs, let alone these highs. I don't think that happens. Could be just a choppy, rangy day today. For those who are trading a Top Step Combine, they are doing they call it bell to bell. So they will be on all day, and 3 different times you'll hear the bell ring, and you have to put your name on the form, and you can get a free reset code sent to you. It does mean you have to kind of keep the stream open all day long at 3 different times. Typically, it's probably going to be around the mid-morning session, probably around lunch, and then towards the end of the session. But you just don't know. So you kind of have to keep your stream open. They did that last Friday, I think, too. I think they did bell to bell last Friday, too. I did not stay on that long. But if you're trading a Top Step Combine, you have a chance to get a free reset today. So, yeah, dollar pushing lower here. This should whip us out. I think the dollar's going to be weak today, which would be strength for the euro and pound. I'll stay on to mourn the loss of this trade, and then we'll call it a day. Our mechanical scalp. 0 for 2 from London, and looks like for New York as well. But that happens. Looking back at the FX replay last year on this Let's see analytics on this. The average losing streak on the New York is two and a half. So basically 3 trades is your average losing streak, and your average win streak is also 3. And it did have a 57% win rate, and it made 33% profit over the course of the year last year. That's 248 trades. Basically, it would be a little bit more than that, but there are days like yesterday where it didn't even get triggered in. So 0 for 2 on the New York and the London scalps today, but risking very small percentages here. The bespoke will go back down into drawdown because I'm risking more than 1% on each of these scalps. It was up on the London. It won the London, but it's going to lose the New York, so it will be back into phase 2 will be into drawdown just a little bit there. But I will be trading all of these accounts this morning and in the afternoon session. So we'll see. We might be able to pull that back up out of drawdown today. My goal is not to make money. My goal is just to continue to execute my scalping strategy to the highest ability I can. So there we go, tagged out. The Forex account still isn't tagged out, but the futures has been tapped out, and we took the L. And so now we are at 3.36% on the combine, and we're just under 1% profit now on the express funded account. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here today. Stream's going to be over for now. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday. No holiday next week, so we'll be back on Monday next week and doing the same thing. Getting on the charts, looking at price action, talking it all through, and we'll see how it ends up. But follow your trading plan, stay disciplined. Do not just click and pray. PCP, what is it? Point, click, and pray. That's John's thing. Don't just do that. That's a recipe for disaster. So stay faithful to your plan. All right. Hop in the Discord, man. It's been quiet over there. We can get that back going and pumping up. And maybe we'll start doing some Discord streams on some of my scalp sessions. We'll see. Like I said, I want to get my stuff locked in first before I kind of really try to start doing that live again. It really messed up just my kind of psychology, I think, streaming and trading live in front of everyone, pressure to perform and all. When no one's watching over my shoulder, it's just easier for me to focus and lock in and just keep executing. So we're off to a great start for the new year. One combine locked in, already in profits. Another one more than halfway there, and we're in phase 2 of the bespoke challenge. So hopefully we can keep it going, and we'll update you on Twitter and Discord probably for today's results. But you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. We'll see you Monday. Adios.